Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Elan Cohen. I work for Microchip. I'm based in Manchester in the UK. And my role is as the European lighting segment leader. And my main focus is supporting our lighting clients across the European region. So in normal times, usually I'm traveling around Europe, helping our clients, helping them to innovate with smart lighting, and utilizing all our internal resource and extensive technical teams within Microchip to help our clients achieve their innovative designs using, in terms of lighting. So if I can start in this short presentation today, I'm going to be talking about how we at Microchip see lighting today, the main focus areas that we focus on within Microchip are in lighting, what we think the future looks like when it comes to smart lighting, and the main lighting trends and markets that we recognize in the smart lighting industry. So lighting today. So I think most people on this webinar today understand the move to LED lighting is well and truly established within the industry. Efficiency levels have slowed down and the industry is well and truly focused on smart and connected lighting. So I think in the past, and lots of studies have come up with results of up to around 20% of energy efficiency and reduction as a result of moving on to LED lighting. Now, the next step is to move on to smart lighting, potentially achieving up to 30% and beyond in terms of energy efficiency. So the industry is now focused on smart lighting, and that is essentially the next disruptive transition to just like the transition to LED was over 10 years ago. We believe that smart lighting is to become the fundamental infrastructure for the IoT world. So if you take smart cities as an example, there are lots of different smart applications that are being deployed across the globe. Streetlights are playing a key part of the infrastructure for these applications. And as you can see, the smart streetlight market is estimated to be worth just under 30 billion by the end of this decade. And I'm going to talk a bit more about this later on in the presentation. The same goes with buildings. Luminaires are no longer simply just lights that you turn on and off. Luminaires are now powered, connected, and have a location. Governments and municipalities are now under more pressure than ever to reduce energy consumption. And smart lighting plays a key role as it can account for around 40% of a city's energy costs, as well as 40% of a building's costs. So these are the focus areas for the lighting segment at Microchip. The wide range of markets that we cover and help our clients in it through smart lighting within these areas. And all of them fall under these three categories you can see here of connected home, indoor commercial lighting, and outdoor lighting. This is where we focus on. So in terms of what the future looks like, in terms of trends and examples, and when it comes to connectivity, at Microchip, we have all the technologies under the sun. We have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Zigbee, LoRa, you name it. But really, it doesn't matter what we have. It's all about understanding the client, what drives their market, what expertise the client has within available to them as resources. And that's when we really try and tailor our support and solution with them with something that we call total system solution. It's not just about the component, it's everything else that goes with that. And that is what we try and specialize at Microchip. However, utilizing the intelligence and connectivity that we can offer, in terms of these trends, this is what we try and deliver with our clients from an innovation and value perspective. So when it comes to intelligent control and monitoring, space management, for example, I'm not going to read every bullet on this page, but in terms of, for example, utilizing smart sensors within lighting. So for example, there's, very large office buildings that most of the time meeting rooms aren't being utilized. So meeting rooms are used 39% of the time and only at 19% capacity. Now, if all these offices and building spaces are being lit up all the time, that is a huge amount of energy being used. So why not use intelligent lighting to reduce the energy consumption in order to save money and improve the planet, essentially? So this is the sort of thing we're working with our clients. Same goes with cleaning and security. Using data from the lighting system reduces cleaning costs by 15% in a very large building. So it's simple things of using smart lighting to really bring down the bills within a building and, again, increase efficiency and reduce the consumption. We can support clients with concepts such as indoor navigation, using light to find our way within a building, or for example, in a hospital. Nurses spend an hour a day looking for equipment. How about utilizing smart lighting to try and save time and become a lot more efficient in operations? Human-centric lighting, we heard our friends at Samsung earlier on talk about the science behind it. We at Microchip can provide a solution, and that's something that I will discuss in a moment. And in terms of sort of urban lighting, the landscape is changing out there more and more people move out to urban areas. And that is something that's under smart cities and how we can play our part in helping municipalities globally become smart. We have predictive maintenance, which relates to things like predicting when a street light is going to blow out in time to fix it, so that there's no downtime to help improve security and safety, and save costs in terms of teams and operations going out to fix those lights, as well as energy metering, measuring energy outputs out of streetlights, and energy savings far beyond LED, as I mentioned in my previous slide, when we move to the next step of connectivity. So this is how we see the future and the main trends. And I'm going to talk more into detail on more focus areas in a second. Human-centric lighting. So human-centric lighting is a focal area for us. At Microchip, we recognize it's important, and now it's one of the most established lighting trends in the market. We have a solution available that is simple for our clients to design with and use. And as I said, our friends at Samsung went into deep technical and scientific detail. So now you all know how human-centric works. What I want to show you is how Microchip can help its clients come up with a solution and for their designs. But first, this image just shows the trend pattern from the past and illustrates where the future is going in terms of growth and value. So human-centric lighting is certainly an area of smart lighting that Microchip wants to be a part of, to help our clients generate value for their clients. So that is where we see the future if you look at the pattern there. The following markets are the ones that we believe human-centric lighting adds most value to. Again, the guys at Samsung already touched on this, but just to reiterate, in terms of education and workplace, increasing productivity, if you think about having bright, cold lights in the morning to keep everyone alert and proactive and productive. And then as the day goes by, tuning those lights to a more warmer, relaxing light, so that when the students or when the employees go home, their sleeping patterns are in a much more healthier place, to be able to get better night's sleep and improve their health and well-being. I think it goes without saying in hospitals as well, there's been lots of deployments out there in sort of home, care homes, improving sleeping patterns for the patients and just really improving people's health and well-being. And travel and transportation, I think the obvious one there is the thing that we all hate, jet lag. We've all had it. A lot of that is to do with the circadian rhythm and what the brain is trained to believe in terms of the lighting, etc. So lots of opportunities out there, but these are the key areas where we think we can add most value to. From our perspective, we have our own promo page that can be found on this link. Please feel free to go and have a look. We have a demo and a proof of concept available, and we at Microchip are always there to help our existing clients and new clients with these designs. So this is what our demo looks like. We call this image a red wedge, simply because the demo is mounted on a red piece of plastic that is wedge shaped. And these wedges are easily transportable so that we can transport our demos across Europe. You know, we like to keep these demos circulating around with clients and at trade shows, etc., because I think you really have to see this face to face to appreciate the technology, etc. But this demo essentially shows our simple solution that we can offer to clients for them to come up with their own design in a short time frame. So included with this reference design, we have the Gerber files, the software, all of the source code, all of that is implemented into our micro, the PIC16F15313 that you can see there on the demo. And the beauty of this is that tablet is Bluetooth compatible, so anybody with any smartphone can connect to this control piece here on the tablet, and essentially you can tune the luminaire you see in the top right corner from very cold light to very warm light to illustrate the human-centric lighting effect. So this is something that we came up with internally to be able to offer clients essentially to really save time in terms of route to market and really come up with a solution as quickly as possible. And as I said, everything, we have a full solution available to offer to our clients. So if this is something of interest, please reach out to your local Microchip sales guy or one of our franchise distributors, and we can help you move forward with that. So the next focal area that I'd like to move on to is smart city and smart street lighting. So as you can see, I've highlighted some of the key information on this slide to demonstrate the potential in this area and why we really are at Microchip heavily focused on this. And there are various reasons why we believe growth has been slow over the past few years, whether that's due to municipalities being reluctant to spend money or a lack of industry standards. However, we're now at a turning point in that journey and things are starting to move forward, albeit slowly. However, you can see the potential. Currently, globally, there's 326 million streetlights, growing to 361 million by the end of the decade. But most importantly, 73% converted to LED by the end of the decade, which is a huge number if you think about it. So at the moment, over a quarter of all streetlights globally have been converted to LED, and over 10 million have been connected, which is that extra step that I talked about, that the further rewards come in terms of energy efficiency, smart and intelligence, and utilization for safety, for all sorts of smart city applications. There's a robust CAGR of 52% since 2012, and that will maintain steady growth through the 2020s. So I think, as I said, over the past 10 years, things have moved fairly slowly. However, that growth rate shows that we are really starting to get somewhere now. And this market's going to be worth just under 30 billion by the end of the decade. So hence why we at Microchip are heavily focused on this area, and it's something that we're driving forward quite aggressively at the moment. So in terms of future communication standards, one of the latest trends that we strongly believe will help drive the forecasted growth that I showed you in the previous slide in smart streetlights is a new communication standard called D4I. So this was released at the end of 2019 by the DIIA, the DALI Alliance, and is actually a form of DALI, which is intraluminaire communication. So it's a standardized platform for IoT connectivity in lighting that is applicable to both indoor and outdoor lighting. However, we are mainly focusing on outdoor lighting applications, for example, the smart street lights. So the standardization element of D4i provides a constant DC on output from the power supply to both the luminaire LEDs and the sensor or communication nodes within a smart street light. So in the past, we've seen the market become extremely verticalized, with only the larger players in the industry benefiting from the development of connected streetlights. However, with D4i, it enables the market to completely open up and for smaller size manufacturers to be able to compete. So any standard power supply can be used as long as it talks D4i to the communication and sensor nodes, which will be the differentiation part of the design. And that's what we're encouraging our clients to be able to do. If they can, if they have the expertise to design their own communication protocols utilizing one of our many technologies, as I mentioned, or they could even use a proprietary protocol if that's what they wanted to do. But this is really their differentiator design, as opposed to just buying an off-the-shelf solution that would be good in the short term, but doesn't provide the longevity that these manufacturers need. So there's of course a lot more to this. However, due to time, I'm only able to briefly discuss this, but we're Microchip are more than happy to further discuss offline with anybody interested. So at Microchip, at the moment, we're working very hard to try and have a completed reference design for D4i so that we can support our clients who are wanting to develop their own smart and connected streetlights. So this is an example of what it would look like. This particular example is communicating back into a mesh network using the Zigbee protocol. However, the type of network completely depends, again, on the client's requirements. So this can be tailored. I think the point on this image is to show that any standard power supply can be used as long as it talks D4i, and then you have your node, your communication node that sits on top of the streetlight, and your sensor node that sits underneath your streetlight. But this is a real life example of a previous success story that we have with 3 separate companies that came together for a collaboration to demonstrate this. Now, the concept itself, as I mentioned, is not a new one. You know, the big players in the industry have been doing this for a long time. However, this standard D4i completely opens up the industry, as I mentioned, the markets, and gives people many options, and not to just stick with one manufacturer on this one. And again, in relation to smart city, and to summarize on smart streetlights, at Microchip, we're able to offer lots of the different technologies that support our belief that lighting is becoming the infrastructure of IoT. So this demonstrates a wide range of applications that can be integrated into a streetlight to form an integral part of a smart city, which leads back to my first point that smart lighting is becoming the infrastructure of IoT. Specifically in the smart city, the streetlights act as a skeleton for the smart city, and all of these bullets that you see here, this is how we envisage streetlights in the future, not just to light streets, but adding things such as EV charging and CCTV with the help of various technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning. All of these things we believe can be integrated into these streetlights to really help cities become smart. Moving on to my next trend, which is UVC disinfection. So as we know, light comes in wavelengths, and looking at the spectrum, UVC is way below visible light at 100 nanometers. So this means the human eye cannot see it. So it's different to UV light that the human eye can catch. And if you can see it, then it means it isn't working. And this sort of UVC light has been proven to be able to really kill the likes of coronavirus and lots of different types of viruses. However, unfortunately, it's not as simple as that, because of course, UVC can also harm humans. So it's not a case of having UVC lighting on all the time with people and human beings in rooms, etc. Unfortunately, this has to be in a controlled environment, which leads to lots of drawbacks and limitations. However, it is a form of, it's an effective form of disinfection. And there has been lots of deployments out there in cleaning robots in airports, for example, theaters, football stadiums. Obviously, when nobody's around, you know, those deployments have taken place to thoroughly sterilize these areas to try and protect people from viruses such as COVID-19. Yeah, the light is applied onto the affected area and it kills the virus by altering its DNA. That's essentially how it works, as opposed to eradicating it completely. It alters its DNA so that it becomes harmless. And that's the basic science behind that. But I'm not a scientist, so I'm not focusing on that. We want to focus on the business opportunities and what this means for market opportunities. So this slide gives you an idea about the kind of applications that can be used with UVC. This concept touches many different markets, lots of industries, therefore leading to new opportunities that would not have existed before COVID. For example, UVC has been a really hot trend in the industry now for about a year since the crisis started. But for example, settings such as hotels and restaurants would probably never have even thought about implementing or UVC disinfection. However, moving forward, and as we come out of the pandemic, this will certainly be on their mind to try and you know, avoid such large issues in the future when it comes to harmful viruses, etc. And following this, of course, we have a UVC solution that we have available at Microchip. Our solution is USB powered and fairly straightforward to use. It can be tailored to various applications depending on requirements. I know some of the guys internally, they came up with a UVC lamp, an office lamp that can be sort of mounted on your desk and can clean your keyboard, etc. You know, every time you go out and come back, you don't know what germs you're bringing in. So that was a sort of reference design we have available. And again, it can be, the technology can be tailored to many different applications. So that's something that we've been driving internally this year also. So that leads me to my final slide. These are all the other elements that I've not had time to discuss today. But for example, trends like emergency lighting. We understand that emergency lighting is an integral part of the market in Turkey, for example. We understand. We have solutions, we have knowledge, expertise within emergency lighting at Microchip. So again, more than happy to visit that at a later date offline. Other trends as well, such as Li-Fi, you know, in terms of communicating via light, shall we say, bidirectionally. It's not an established technology out there at the moment, but it's certainly something that is being spoken about a lot. And we are talking with all of the top Li-Fi companies in Europe. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight this as the final slide to give you an idea of everything else that we have expertise in and can really offer solutions for moving forward. So on that note, thank you for listening to the presentation. Please, again, happy to take questions, but this is my email address here. Feel free to reach out for anything else, or if anything that you found interesting on the presentation today. I'm more than happy to help you in the future. Thank you.